Hi everyone, we'll go for lecture number 4 on thermal energy conversion and systems. So we'll go for coal handling system. Coal handling refers to the process of conveying the coal from the point of unloading to the place of use. So it is carried out by several means depending upon the requirement of the power plant. The important equipment used for conveying the coal are belt conveyors, screw conveyors, bucket elevators, and grab bucket elevators. So one by one we are going to see now. Belt conveyor, we are going to use I will just go to the diagram and I will explain. So this is the belt conveyor. So this is the front view. So I'll just take up a pointer here. So this is the belt conveyor. So belt conveyor, main roller will be there. So these are supporting or idler rollers, and this is the main driver gear and driven roller and driver roller. So this is going to move in this fashion. Coal is going to fall like this, and it is going to carry from one end to another one. These are mainly used for short distance transportation. So the belt is inclined about 15 to 20 degree from the charge end to discharge end. Charge end means you are charging the coal here coal is discharged. The average speed of the belt conveyor is in the range of 50 to 100 meters per minute. It is going to go slowly per minute 100 meters it is going to travel, or 50 meters it is going. Second one is screw conveyor. It consists of an endless helical screw conveyors. It is endless helical screw around the shaft. It is supported on two bearings. So we'll just see in the diagram itself. See, this is the screw conveyor. So here coal is supplied, and at the this helical screw, it is going to carry that coal, and it is going to supply at a coal discharge. So this is the actual diagram. So it will be closed one, so dust problem will be reduced, but it is having some problem like a noise problem and other things are there. So but it is for only short distance. So bucket elevators we'll see in diagram. See, this is the diagram. So suppose I want to carry the coal vertically at certain height. Then coal inlet is this fashion. Here the coal is going to get deposited, it is going to move, and it is going to come back here. So from here it is going to be discharged at this height in the furnace, and it is going to be burned in the further waste. So this is the bucket elevator. Next is grab bucket elevator. Grab means what? It is going to, grabbing means picking. So it will be stored in some buckets or some wagon or some tray, so that the elevator will pick that bucket and it will place into the required angle. So I will just show the diagram. See, this is the thing. So here the bucket will be there. This crane, whatever it is going to take it from this position to, if it can rotate angularly, it can rotate this linearly, horizontally also it can move. So this is the diagrams here. So this is going to pick here, and it can be placed at required degrees, or it can be taken to the required height also. So this is the bucket elevator, the grab bucket elevator. So next we will see the line diagram of coal flow sequence, how the coal is going to be it is going to flow. So coal storage yard means coal will be stored here through wagon tippler. So the wagon tippler is going to carry this, and it is going to dump here on a belt conveyor. So in the belt conveyor, what is going to happen? It is going to be passed to a crusher. So here it is going to crush, and this vibrator, what it will do? It will take the fine particles into this fashion, and the large particles are again picked up by the this bucket elevator. So bucket elevator is going to come back again, and it is going to be crushed. So after crushing everything to the required side, it is going to come to this belt conveyor, and it is going to be lifted with help of bucket conveyor again. So two bucket conveyors we have, two this belt conveyors we have crusher, we have tippler. So in this they are going to dump into this pulverizing mill. So again here with the help of ID fan, that is an induced draft fan, it is going to pick it into a cyclone furnace. So in the cyclone furnace, what they will do? Cyclone separator. So the bigger particles are coming down, and the fine particles are going to the bin. So this bin will feed this to the feeder, and through the FD fan it is going to be taken for the furnace for further usage. So this is the line diagram of coal flow sequence. This also may be asked in the exam. So ash handling system, it is very important. I said in the first video only, the amount of ash produced is about 20 to 30% of the coal burnt. So usually how it is handled? Generally it is quenched in water, means water is sprayed on that slurry is going to be carried out. Water quenching reduces the temperature, hence it can be handled easily. It dilutes the ash, thus reducing its corrosive characteristics. Large lumps of ash clinkers get disintegrated after quenching. Dust particles and some hazardous gases in the ash get dissolved in the water. Required equipments. So what are the requirements? It should be corrosion free, it should handle effectively, minimum noise it should produce, large quantities of ash it should handle. So these are the some basic requirements. Types of ash handling, there are some 4 types: mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic and steam jet. We'll see one by one. Mechanical ash handling system, just we'll see the diagram. See here, this is the boiler 1, 2, 3. So 3 boiler furnaces. Whatever they are producing ash, it will be dumped on the belt conveyor through the water trough. Means here only the slurry is going to create, water and ash is going to mix, and this belt is continuously, it will be moving, and it will be dumped to the ash bunker, and through the truck it is going to be stored, or it is going to be dumped at the available area or a pointed out areas, right? So this is the mechanical, purely it is mechanical, no air is passing, no nothing is passing. So with help of just the belt conveyor, it is going to pass. Next, hydraulic ash handling system, just I will go for diagram again. In that high velocity, see here, this is hydraulic ash handling system. First one is low velocity system, second one is high velocity system. First one we will see. So furnaces, water trough, so ash is going to in the sump. So slowly the water is going to be stored in this ash sump. So high velocity means what? See here, furnace, ash is going to fall on a conveyor. So conveyor is going to dump the ash. So high pressure waters are sprayed at that ashes. So high pressure water from the opposite direction, if it is stored, and it will be stored in a trough carrying ash water and settled ash we can see here, and it is going to be dumped somewhere else. Next is pneumatic, means they are going to use air as a system. So this is the pneumatic ash handling system. So furnace, through furnace the ash is coming in. Here the rollers are there to crush that ash into the fine particles. So air stream is passed in this way. So air stream, what it will do, it will pass like this, and it will pass in a cyclone cleaners. So cyclone cleaners, whatever cyclone air cleaners, whatever they are doing, the ash is going to fall here through these two cleaners, and except only dust particles are falling, and remaining whatever air is coming along with it, it will be filtered, and through the induced fan it is going to the atmosphere, and this ash is going to fall in ash hopper, and through ash hopper it will be taken to ash truck. That truck will be taking that to the required area or a suitable area. This is the pneumatic ash handling system. So next, this part is all about how the this burners, like strokers we have seen. Now we will go for boilers, high pressure boilers we are going to use. So what is the major temperature and pressure is here? 250 bars and 550 degree against 30 bar and 400 by the conventional boiler. So this is the high pressure boiler. So high pressure boilers use a low grade fuels, higher thermal efficiency, water tube types are used. So this is the process here. One more, this is gasification process. This is just for your information we have shown here. So next, natural and forced circulation systems we will be seeing, means water we are going to, there's air we are going to circulate. See here how the natural circulation and forced circulation is going to takes place. Only thing is, this natural circulation is going to work basically based on the density difference. See here, this is the furnace wall, and inside this downcomer is there, header is there, heat is through the tube, it is going to be heated. See, whenever we heat the water, what happens to the water? Water is going to lose its density and it is going to rise up. So this raised water, it is coming back to the boiler drum, and whatever water purely in the liquid form or cold water, it is going to come back here. So this is naturally it is going to circulate. There is no pump or anything we are going to use in this system. So this is due to just by difference. So this is forced circulation. Only forced circulation difference is same as working of the natural circulation. Only pump we are going to use here for the circulation of water. So draught system. So draught system are essential for flue gas propagation. Means whatever air we are passing to the furnace, that will be converted as to flue gases. That flue gases to pass from normal air to the flue gas, we should have some draught system. So chimney is the one most method to achieve the difference in the pressure. So we'll see the chimneys made up of steel, bricks and concrete. Bricks and concrete chimneys are generally used as they have a longer life. The average life of concrete chimneys is about 15 years. Life of steel chimneys is about 25 years. Chimneys are provided with a lightning conductor and protect from the thunder. So due to rainy season, we should have all this one. Types of draught system, very important: natural draft and mechanical draft, forced draft, in that induced draft and balanced draft. Natural draft we'll see just through the diagram itself. See here. So natural draft, based on the height of the chimney, whatever furnace air we are supplying here, it is going to mix with the fuel and it is come out as a flue gas, and that will be passing through the chimneys. So density of air and density of gas. So since the density of gas is less and density of air is more, it is going to come out in the outside. That too, if you have a proper chimney height calculation. And mechanical draft, we'll see here. So whatever we are seeing here, it is same setup. It will be for also balanced draft and induced draft also. Here the boiler is there. In the boiler furnace, what we are doing? We are having, this is not a boiler actually, this is the pump. So this is FD pump. So this pump will force air into the furnace, and that will be passed through the economizer, air preheater, and it is going to the atmosphere. So this is forced draft, means we are forcing the air inside the furnace. Induced draft, thing is, here already what we were doing, we were forcing the this air by using FD fan, but here we are using blower, that is induced draft fan. We are using that to in between air preheater and chimney. So this natural air is sucked and it is passed through furnace, economizer and air preheater, and later it is taken to the atmosphere. So this is induced draft. Next is balanced draft. See here, balanced draft, one FD fan is there, one ID fan is there, both are situated and it will work, so it is called as balanced draft. So suppose only FD fan is there, no ID fan, it is called forced draft. Only ID fan, no FD fan, it is called as induced draft. If both are available, it is called as balanced draft.